classes. So those who could not attend the class, they will just watch the recording. Now everyone, today we are going to start off with a very important topic. This is calculus. Okay, this is calculus. Calculus is going to come for 40 marks in your ISC class 12. So the basics of calculus is there in class 11 also. Calculus, there are two parts. One is called derivative and one is called integration. I guess you have seen both in physics. So in class 11, only derivative is there. But since some of you had requested me that they are having problems in understanding physics, I am going to take one class very soon on integration. It's just going to take one class. Okay. So everyone, just pay attention. This is a very easy chapter. The name of the topic is called limits. Everyone, just see, the name of the topic is called limits. Now see, the name of the topic is LIMITS, limits. The question will be of the form LIM, limit x tends to a. X tends to a means x approaches a. X approaches a. There'll be one function in the numerator and there'll be one function in the denominator. So you need to, everyone, you need to simplify this. So once you understand the entire how to solve a limit, then before I start off with derivative, I'll explain the actual meaning of this. Is that clear? Right now, if I explain, it won't make any sense to you. So I'll just be wasting my time. So first, the main objective out here is to help you solve questions on limits. Help you solve questions on limits. So the question will be of the form limit x tends to a fx divided by gx. That means one function will be in the numerator, one function will be in the denominator. Now everyone see, to solve a limit, you simply have to substitute the value of x. That's it. Once again, to solve a question on limit, you simply have to substitute the value of x. That means you need to replace the value of x by a. That's it. If you do that, then the problem is also solved and we are done also. Is that clear? We are done also. That's how you solve a question on limit. So everyone, what was the how are you going to solve a question on limit? We simply have to put the value of x equal to a. Put the value of x equal to a in the denominator. So in the denominator. So you'll have two cases. When you put the value of x equal to a in the denominator. So case 1, everyone. So case 1, we are talking about the denominator, that means g. So when I replace x by a, I get ga. This is not equal to 0. That means the denominator will not be equal to 0. So when the denominator is not equal to 0, then that itself is your solution. When the denominator is not equal to 0, then that itself is your solution. Is that clear? Example, look at the board everyone. Example, limit x tends to 0, x plus 2 divided by x plus 1. Suppose I have to solve this. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the value of x in the denominator. So the value of x is in the denominator, so 0 plus 1 is 1. 0 plus 2 is, look at this, just put the value of x, that is a, isn't it? In this case the value of a is 1 in the denominator. That means instead of x you have to write 0. So 0 plus 1 is 1. It is not 0. The denominator is not 0. So how do you solve this? If the denominator is not 0 when you put the value of x, just remove the limit and put the value of x. That means 0 plus 2, 0 plus 1. The answer is 2. That's it. Simple. So this is how you solve a question on limit. That means this is how you remove limit from the question. Is that clear? But the questions are not going to be so simple where just putting the value of x will give you the answer. No. So we will come to case 2, everyone. So we will come to case 2. So case 2, so the 99% of the question will be based on case 2. That means when you put the value of x in the denominator, the denominator becomes 0. The denominator becomes 0. Okay. So when the denominator becomes 0, please listen to me carefully. Okay. When the denominator becomes 0, you will see that the numerator will also be 0 when you put the value. So this is called an indeterminate form. That means indeterminate means 0 by 0 calculate garne sakdaina. We cannot calculate what is 0 by 0. Like for example, 5 divided by 0 is 5, divided by 0 is infinity, 0 divided by 5, 5 zeros, it's 0. Everyone, 0 divided by 5 is 0. That means you can calculate. 5 divided by 0 is infinity. You can calculate, okay? But 0 by 0 is undetermined form. That means we cannot solve this. So, whenever you get a question of this form, that means an indeterminate form, this is also called an indeterminate form, your main objective would be to remove 0 from the denominator, to remove 0 from the denominator. Is that clear? The moment you remove 0 from the denominator, again you get back to case 1. So if the denominator is not equal to 0, you just remove the limit and put the value of x. So I hope now you have understood what type of questions you will get to solve from this particular topic, that is called limits. Everyone, look at the board, those who joined late. Limits, so the question will be of the form limit x tends to a, fx divided by gx. We put the value of x equal to a. Now everyone, a, most of the times you see that the value of a is 0, but it is not compulsory that it has to be 0. It can be any other number, 1, 2, pi by 2, pi, anything. Is that clear? So when you put the value of x equal to a in the denominator, you can have two cases. Case 1, the denominator is not 0. If the denominator is not 0, then you simply have to put the value of x by removing the limit. See, you simply have to put the value of x and the limit vanishes, so the answer is 2. But what will happen if you get 0 in the denominator? If you get 0 in the denominator, then the numerator will also be 0. That is sure to happen. So if the denominator is 0, you don't have to check both. You just check the denominator. If the denominator is 0, numerator is automatically 0. If the denominator becomes 0, then the numerator is also 0, then this is called an indeterminate form. What is it called, everyone? An indeterminate form, 0 by 0. The value which cannot be determined. The value which cannot be determined. Okay. So what are we going to do in this case? The main objective is to remove 0 from the denominator. And I will teach you 4 methods to remove 0 from the denominator, because if you remove 0 from the denominator, then we can simply remove the limit and put the value of x, and that becomes your answer. So these are the methods to remove 0 from the denominator. Number 1 is factorization. Factorization. That means if you see a quadratic equation, then you are going to use middle term. If you see a quadratic equation and there's a minus sign, then you are going to use a square minus b square's formula. If you see a cube minus b cube, then you are going to use a minus b open bracket a square plus ab plus b square. In the course of time, I will explain what does factorization mean to you in detail. Is that clear? Okay, so the first one is factorization. The second one, if you see a square root, then we need to rationalize. Rationalise. We need to rationalize. I hope you have not forgotten. What does rationalization mean? We are trying to remove the square root from the numerator or the denominator. And the third one is, if we cannot factorize, then we move on to rationalization. If there's a square root, then only we rationalize. If we cannot rationalize, then we use property. Then we use property. So the properties we are going to discuss in detail. And the fourth method is, it is called L'Hospital's theorem. L'Hospital's theorem. So these are the 4 methods. Now basically what I want you all to understand is the concept. Understand the concept properly, everyone. So once again, the question will be of the form limit x tends to a, fx divided by gx. The first thing you are going to do is you are going to put the value of x equal to a in the denominator. So you'll have two cases. Case one, if it's not 0, then that itself is your answer. That means put the value of x and remove limit. Answer I value boyo, no problem. But if the denominator is 0, then if the denominator is 0, numerator is bound to be 0. So this is called 0 by 0 form. Yeah, indeterminate form. Okay, once line indeterminate form. So this question will be only solvable if you remove 0 from the denominator. So in order to remove 0 from the denominator, these are the four methods that we are going to use. Factorization means the formula, that means middle term, a square minus b square, a cube minus b cube, those formulas. Rationalization, if there's a square root, okay. And the third one is property. There are 5 properties. I'm going to teach you how to use that. And the fourth one is L'Hospital's theorem. So please take a screenshot of this, everyone. Please take a screenshot of this. Okay, now you'll understand this topic clearly when I give few examples. Okay, so I hope you have taken a screenshot of this. Okay, now ready? Okay, I'll send you the notes also, whatever has been done. If you could not catch up, then I'll send you the notes also. Okay, this is everyone page number 514. Page number 514. Page number 514. Okay, 514. Now question number, look at the board everyone. Question number 6, subdivision 2. The question says limit x tends to 2, 2x square minus 5x plus 7. I need to simplify this. So what are you going to do? Look at the denominator. The denominator is nothing, means we take the denominator to be 1, isn't it? So when you put the value of x in the denominator, see, in this case there is no x, so that means we need not put the value. So what is going to be the denominator? It is going to be 1, isn't it? So that means if the denominator is not 0, then what did I tell you? You simply remove the limit and put the value of x. That will give us the answer. So your answer is going to be 2. Put the value of x, 2 square minus 5 into 2 plus 7. So what do you get? 2 2s are 4, 4 2s are 8, minus 5 2s are 10, plus 7. So 8 plus 7 is 15, 15 minus 10 is 5. So the value of this limit is 5. So in this case, you see this is case 1, where the denominator, when you put the value of x, the denominator is not 0. Out here you can clearly see that there is no denominator. So if there is nothing in the denominator, we can take it for granted it is 1, isn't it? So this is how you solve a question on limit. So this is a simple and direct one. Okay, so next question, look at this. Question number 5, 6. The question is limit x tends to 5, x square minus 25 divided by x minus 5. Now put the value of x, everyone, in the denominator. So the value of x is 5, isn't it? So 5 minus 5 is 0. So if the denominator is 0, numerator, I told you it is going to be 0. You can check also. 5 square is 25. So 25 minus 25 is 0. So this is called an indeterminate form, everyone. This is called an indeterminate form. So the solution to this will be possible only if we remove 0 from the denominator. So how do I do it? I was talking about factorization, isn't it? So I can clearly use this formula out here. Limit x tends to 5, x square. I can write 25 as 5 square divided by x minus 5. Next, limit x tends to 5. What is a square minus b square? It is a plus b divide into a minus b. Divide the whole thing by x minus 5. Now you can easily understand that it was because of this x minus 5 we were getting 0 in the denominator, isn't it? So on factorization means When you simplify the numerator, you are going to get the exact same term in the numerator, so that that term cancels out. Now, once you have cancelled that, there is you can then you can easily see that the denominator cannot be equal to 0, isn't it? Because the part which was making it 0 has cancelled out. It has cancelled out. So you simply, now this reduces to case 1, where you simply have to put the value of x. What is the value of x? Remove the limit. What is the value of x? It is 5 plus 5, that is equal to 10. So the value of this limit is 10. So this was question number 6, subdivision 2 and subdivision 6. So please take a screenshot of this. Don't forget the page number. It is 514. Page number 514. Please take a screenshot of this, everyone. So please, you need to understand the properties, the way I am simplifying limits, because limits is there in class 12 also, and for your entrance examination it is important. Okay, now we move on to the next question. Everyone look at the board. This is 5, 6, 7, 8. 6 subdivision 8. The question is, limit x tends to 3, x tends to 3, x square plus x minus 12 divided by x minus 3. So this is one question which I need to simplify. Okay, come on, help me out. You are not going to put the value of x in the numerator. Don't waste your time. Put the value of x in the denominator. So what do I get? 3 minus 3 is 0. So I told you, if the denominator is 0, numerator will be 0. So this is an indeterminate form. So you know the solution to this question is possible only if I remove 0 from the denominator. That means I need to remove x minus 3. So to remove x minus 3, I need to get x minus 3 in the numerator. And how do you get x minus 3? This is a quadratic equation. So we need to factorize this. That means break this into a middle term. So please help me out. Factorization was taught in class 9, class 10. So look at the board. Limit x tends to 3. 12 ones are 12. I need to get x. So the factors are going to be 4 and 3, because 4 threes is 12, and 4x minus 3x will give us x divided by x minus 3. What is common? Please tell me. So x is common, so you get x plus 4, minus 3 is common, so x plus 4 divided by x minus 3. So limit x tends to 3. So if I take x plus 4 out, I'm going to get x minus 3 and x minus 3. So you can easily see that the part which was making the question 0, that is x minus 3, you got the same thing in the numerator. So I hope you understood the concept. Those who didn't, listen to me carefully one more time. So when you put the value of x in the denominator, if you are getting 0 in the denominator, then you have to remove that 0. So in order to remove that 0, we have to remove that term itself. That means x minus 3 only I have to remove. That is why I see in the numerator that it's a quadratic equation. So quadratic equation needs to be factorized, and factorize means simplification. So how do you factorize a quadratic equation? You simply have to use middle term. Okay, so when I use middle term, the factors you got is x plus 4 and x minus 3. So you can clearly see that x minus 3 and x minus 3 gets cancelled. So when x minus 3 and x minus 3 gets cancelled, you are left with limit x tends to 3, x plus 4. Now when you put the value of x, you are not going to get the denominator to be 0, because the part which was making it 0 already got cancelled. That means we can substitute the value now. So when you put x equal to 3, what do you get? You get 3 plus 4, that is equal to 7. So this is how you simplify a question on limits. Is that okay, everyone? Please go through the solution one more time. Please go through the solution one more time. So not just this particular question, in fact, any question on limit. So now I think the bifurcation which I taught you in the, what do you call, first, before I started the class, now I think it makes sense. So how do you solve a question on limit? You simply have to put the value of x in the denominator. So when you put the value of x in the denominator, two cases can arise. Either the denominator is 0 or the denominator is not 0. If the denominator is not 0, then that itself is the answer after removing the limit. But if it's 0, you have to remove 0 from the denominator. And how do you remove 0 from the denominator? There are four methods that I've given it to you. This is one of them. That is, the first method is factorization. Is that clear? Now I guess factorization also makes sense because this is the part which is making it 0. So I need an identical term in the numerator so that I can cancel out. So that is why quadratic, when we factorize quadratic equation, you get two linear terms. So x minus 3 and x minus 3 is identical. So the moment you cancel this, the denominator does not become 0. You substitute the value and that itself is your answer. So please copy this, please, everyone. Take a screenshot. Okay, I'll drop this. Okay. I remembered one question, but I exactly don't know which question is that. But I'll just give you the question, okay? So see, limit x tends to 3, x cubed minus 27 divided by x square minus 9. So this was the question. Now, could you please help me out with this particular question? You are going to try to solve this question. So in order to solve this question, try putting the value of x in the denominator. So when you put the value of x in the denominator, what do you get? 3 minus, what is x? 3 square. So 3 square is 9. So 9 minus 9 is 0. That means you are getting 0 in the denominator, means if the denominator becomes 0, then the numerator is bound to be 0. So this is called 0 by 0 or an indeterminate form. So how do you remove 0 from the denominator? We need to factorize. So everyone, please pay attention. So limit x tends to 3. I can write 27 as 3 cube because 3 cube is 27, and I can write 9 as 3 square. So I'm going to use cube co-formula out here and I'm going to use square co-formula. So those who don't know, I'm writing the formula for you. A cube minus b cube is a minus b into a square plus ab plus b square, and a square minus b square is a plus b into a minus b. So this is a formula that I'm going to write. So please help me out. So limit x tends to 3. This is a, this is b. So what does the formula say? It says a minus b into a square. That means x square plus a into b. A is x, b is 3. So 3 into x is 3x plus b square. B is 3. So 3 square becomes 9 divided by a square minus b square. It is a plus b into a minus b. So look at the denominator and tell me which is the part, which is the factor that is making the denominator 0. Obviously this, because when I put 3 out here, 3 plus 3 is 6, it's not 0, but 3 minus 3 is 0. So this is the factor which is making the denominator 0, and fortunately we got the same term in the numerator, so that cancels out, isn't it? So when that cancels out, you are left with x square plus 3x plus 9 divided by x plus 3. Now you can solve this question. Why? Because when you put the value of x as 3, 3 plus 3 is 6, not 0. So we can remove the limit, so put the value of x, so it becomes 3 square plus 3 into 3 plus 9 divided by 3 plus 3. So 3 square is 9, 3 3 is 9, 9. 9 plus 9 is 18, 18 plus 9 is 27, divided by 3 plus 3 is 6. So 3 2s are 6, 3 9s are 27. So the value of this particular question is 9 by 2. So just go through this, please, everyone. So I'll just give you a few minutes to just recap what has been done. Okay, I hope the first method is clear to everyone. So the moment you see 0 in the denominator, and if you can factorize, then you are going to remove the 0 by method of factorization. Okay, so let us move on to the next question. Let us move on to the next question, everyone. So the next question is, okay, this is question number 8, subdivision 1. Question number 8, subdivision 1, which says limit x tends to 2 x square minus 5x plus 6 divided by x square minus 7x plus 10. So let's see whether you'll be able to comprehend this question or not. Put the value of x in the denominator. You don't have to put it literally, huh? Okay, just do it mentally. So what is the value of x is 2, 2 square is 4, so 10 plus 4 is 14, 7 2s are 14, so 14 minus 14 is 0. That means you are getting 0 in the denominator. So in order to remove 0 from the denominator, you see that both are quadratic equations. So find out the middle term. Come on. What are the factors? 6 ones are 6. I need to get minus 5. So the factors are going to be minus 3x minus 2x plus 6 divided by 10 ones are 10. So the factors are going to be minus 5x minus 2x plus 10. So limit x tends to 2. What is common? X. So x minus 3 minus 2 common, x minus 3. Divide the whole thing. Again do the same thing. When I take x common from the two terms of the denominator, so I get x minus 5 minus 2 common, x minus into plus becomes minus, 2 5s are 10. So limit x tends to 2. If I take x minus 3 common from the numerator, I get x minus 2. And similarly, if I take x minus 5 from the denominator, I get x minus 2. So when you put the value of x in the denominator, 2 minus 3 is, sorry, 2 minus 5 is minus 3. This is not coming to be 0, but 2 minus 2 is 0, isn't it? So this is the factor which is making the denominator in 0. So luckily we have already got that in the numerator. So every time this is what happens. That's why the method is called factorization. So you can clearly see that x minus 2 and x minus 2 gets cancelled. Now you put the value of x. So what's the value of x? So this cancels out. So when you put the value of x, what do you get? 2 minus 3. You just have to solve a limit. It is very simple. You just have to remove the limit. Don't write the limit and just put the value. The value of x is 2. So 2 minus 3 divided by 2 minus 5. So 2 minus 3 is minus 1 and 2 minus 5 is minus 3. So the value of this particular limit is 1 by 3. The value of this particular limit is 1 by 3. So these are few questions based on the first method, that is uh, factorization. Okay, so there are some more questions in the book. You can do them easily once you have understood this particular method. Now we move on to the second method. The second method is called rationalization. What is the second method called? It is called rationalization. Okay, so this is page number 518, question number 11, subdivision 3. Question number 11, subdivision 3, page 518, question number 11, subdivision 3. The question is, everyone look at the board. Limit x tends to 0, under root 1 plus x minus under root 1 minus x, divide the whole thing by x. Now put the value of x in the denominator. So when I put x equal to 0, so this becomes 0, isn't it? So this is 0 by 0 form. If the denominator is 0, numerator is bound to be 0. 1 plus 0 is root 1. Root 1 is 1. 1 minus 0 is also root 1. Root 1 is 1. So 1 minus 1 is 0. Okay, so what we observe out here is as long as there is x in the denominator, you will keep on getting 0. So in order to remove 0, I need to get x in the numerator so that I can cancel the x in the numerator and x in the denominator. For that, you have to apply one of the methods which I have taught you. This is not a quadratic equation. If it's a quadratic equation, then you are going to use the formulas that we have used in the previous example. So in this case, we see that this is a question on surds because you see square roots, isn't it? So when you see a square root, you know that we have to rationalize this. So everyone look at the board. Rationalization means if there's a minus sign, you multiply this with a plus. So plus. So 1 plus x plus root 1 minus x. So I multiply the numerator as well as the denominator with a plus. Is that clear? Now simplify this. Now you don't have to multiply them individually because this is a conjugate pair. Look at this. A minus b, a plus b. The formula is a square minus b square. Divide the whole thing by x will remain as it is because my objective is to remove x. So in order to remove x, I need x also in the numerator. So the square and root gets cancelled. So obviously you are going to get it. So don't make the mistake of multiplying it. So root 1 minus x. So if you do the problem this way, why we are doing it, why we are not multiplying, then the concept is going to be absolutely crystal clear. So limit x tends to 0, square and root gets cancelled. So you get 1 plus x. Square and root gets cancelled. So minus 1 minus into minus is plus x. Square and root gets cancelled. Divide the whole thing by x. Then what do you get? Root 1 plus x plus root 1 minus x. So you can clearly see minus 1 and plus 1 gets cancelled. So you are left with limit x tends to 0, x plus x is 2x divided by x into under root 1 plus x plus root 1 minus x. Now you can see the part which was making the denominator 0, that is x, cancels out with the numerator, isn't it? Now when you cancel x, you see that now I can easily put the value of x. Why? Because when you put the value of x, you are not going to get it to be 0 because 1 plus 0 is 1, so root 1 is 1. 1 minus 0 is 1, root 1 is 1. So 1 plus 1 is not 0, but it is 2. So substitute the value, please. 2 divided by root 1 plus 0 plus root 1 minus 0, that is 2 divided by 2. So the value of the determinant is 1. So I hope whatever was taught before the start of these problems, that means the theory on limits, now it is making sense to you. Because if you put the value of x in the denominator and if you don't get 0, then that itself becomes the answer. Put the value, problem solved. But you are not going to get such easy questions. You are going to get questions where when you put the value of x in the denominator, you are going to get 0. So there are four methods. Number one is factorization. Number two is rationalization. Rationalization is very easy to identify. Factorization is also very easy to identify because it's a quadratic equation. Use middle term. If a square minus b square, then use a plus b, a minus b. If it is a square minus b cube, a cube minus b cube, then use that formula. If you see a square root, then you rationalize. Is that clear? So this is question number 11, subdivision 3. So I will do another question. So please take a screenshot of this, everyone. So the same page number, question number 11. I'll take another question. Okay, the question that I've taken is 11 subdivision 4. 11 subdivision, oh yeah, sorry, 6. The question is limit x tends to 5, x minus 5 divided by root x minus 3 minus root 7 minus x. Now the process remains same. Put the value of x in the denominator. What is the value of x? 5. So 5 minus 3 is root 2, 7 minus 5 is root 2. So root 2 minus root 2 is 0. So again you are getting 0 in the denominator. So since it's not a quadratic equation, so we cannot factorize. So since it's a square root, we are going to rationalize. Is that clear, everyone? So with what are you going to multiply, everyone? You are going to multiply, this is what is the sign in between? Minus. So I'm going to multiply with a plus sign. 7 minus x. So do the same thing. Root x minus 3 plus root 7 minus x. 7 minus x. I multiply it with the positive value. Now see what you're getting. Limit x tends to 5. So don't make the mistake of multiplying. Just keep it as it is. Root x minus 5, because we need to factorize the denominator. So this is a minus b, a plus b, again a conjugate pair. So you know the formula. I'll do it directly because I've already done this in the previous problem. It's going to be what? A square minus b square. This is a, this is b. So square and root gets cancelled. So you get x minus 3 minus square and root gets cancelled. So 7 minus into minus is plus x. So next line, limit x tends to 5, x minus 5 into root x minus 3 plus root 7 minus x divided by, what is x plus x? X plus x is 2x, isn't it? X plus x is 2x. Minus 3 minus 7 is minus 10. So everyone just look out here. So x plus x is 2x and minus 3 minus 7 is minus 10. So if I take 2 common, then I'm gonna get x minus 5, isn't it? So if I take 2 common, I'm gonna get x minus 5. So this is the part which is making the denominator 0, because the value of x is 5. So 5 minus 5 is 0. So see, fortunately we got the same value in the numerator. So x minus 5 and x minus 5 gets cancelled. What is left in the denominator? 2. That means no more you are going to get 0 in the denominator. So you simply have to put the value. So what is the value of x? 5 minus 3 plus root 7 minus what do you call 3, sorry, 7 minus, what is the value of x? 5 divided by 2. So what do you get? Root 5 minus root 5 minus 3 is root 2. 7 minus 5 is also root 2. So root 2 plus root 2 will give you 2 root 2. Divide the whole thing by 2. So 2 and 2 gets cancelled. So the value of this limit is root 2. So the value of this limit is root 2. Is that clear, everyone? Okay. So please take a screenshot of this, everyone.
Oh,
Yes.
so we will do integration later.
Later, in the sense, once I complete this, no, once, because see, some of you all were there when I was doing derivative, but some of you were not there. So once I will just take few days to complete derivative. So the moment I complete derivative, I'll start off with integration. Integration will just take 2 classes. Don't worry.
So we will do
Okay,
graphs,
Vansh.
graphs and all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Listen, Vansh, for your this one, no, what do you call? For your unit test, Vansh,
Yes, sir.
the upcoming unit test, you all have got very easy chapters, huh? That is section C. Okay.
Yes, sir.
If you have any problem with any of the chapters, please go through the, what do you call, your archive. All the what do you call, videos have been recorded and it is there. So you simply have to go through those videos. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. So you sent me
And
that day.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
If you still have problem, you let me know. Got it? So graph is in what do you call? Moving average.
Okay.
Moving
Okay.
average.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is derivative. Okay. Now everyone look at the board. So the two methods you have understood properly. Now we move on to the third method. We move on to the third method, and third method is also very easy. It's just that you need to get used to these properties. That means you need to know these properties. You need to know these properties. So Look at the board, everyone. So I'll just write down the properties for you. I will send you the properties also in the group. So I'm just writing the properties out here. So the first property is, limit x tends to 0, e to the power x minus 1 divided by x is 1. That means if I can convert the equation into this form, that means whatever is the power of e, okay, that only has to be the denominator, and if there is 1, then instead of this value I can directly write it as 1. So that way the entire limit vanishes, so the 0 which we were getting will also vanish. So this is the first property. The second property says limit x tends to 0 log 1 plus x divided by x. That means log, okay, 1 should always be there. Whatever angle is here, the same thing has to be here. Why am I telling you this is because every time it's not going to be x, sometimes it's going to be 3x. So if this is 3x, then automatically this also has to be 3x. Then the value of that is also going to be 1. Then the value of this is also going to be 1. Is that clear? Property number 3 says limit x tends to 0, a to the power x minus 1 divided by x is a to the power x into log a. A to the power x into log a. What is a? A is a constant. What is a? A is a constant. Property number 4 says limit x tends to a, not 0. All these properties are 0. Only property number 4 is a. X to the power n minus a to the power n divided by x minus a equal to n dot a to the power n minus 1. N dot a to the power n minus 1. And we come to the fifth and the final property, which says limit x tends to 0 sin x by x is equal to 1. Sin x by x is equal to 1. So this can be written as limit x tends to 0 x by sin x also. That means I'm just interchanging their places. Sin x by x is also 1 and x by sin x is also 1. And not a new property but a continuation of 5. Limit x tends to 0 tan x by x. This is also equal to 1. So tan x by x is also equal to 1. So which in turn is equal to limit x tends to 0 x by tan x. So what you observe in the 5 properties that I have given it to you is, everyone, okay, you can just take a screenshot of this. Okay, so what you observe in these 5 properties which I have given to you is, to remove 0 from the denominator, we can take the help of these 5 properties because we know the direct result. The results are limit x tends to 0, e to the power x minus 1 divided by x is directly 1, log 1 plus x by x is also equal to 1, limit x tends to 0, a to the power x minus 1 divided by x is a to the power x log a, limit x to the power a, x tends to a, x to the power n minus a to the power n divided by x minus a is equal to n dot a to the power n minus 1, and the final property, that is sin x by x is 1 and x by sin x is also 1. So you will see how it's gonna work. So everyone, please pay attention. Just few questions I'm gonna do. Okay, just few questions. Don't worry, I'm gonna take I'll send you the what do you call screenshot of the property right away. Don't worry. So okay, look at this, everyone. So this is page number, this is page number 115, question number 10, subdivision 2. See, the question looks difficult, but once you understand the property, it becomes very simple. This is sine 5x divided by sine 3x. Okay, the same process is to be repeated, everyone. So put the value of x, this is page 115, okay? Put the value of x in the denominator. So what do you get? 3 zeros are 0 and sine 0 is 0. So if the denominator is 0, numerator is bound to be 0. So this is called an indeterminate form. So you have to remove 0 from the denominator. But the problem is it's neither a quadratic equation nor a square root. So I have to use property, isn't it? So which property do I use? Because see, the moment you see sine, obviously I cannot use this. I cannot log. This is exponential, this is log, this is algebraic, this is also algebraic. See, I know that I have to use this property, sine x by x. So everyone look at the board. So how do I use this property? So limit x, what is the property first? Everyone look at the board. The property is limit x tends to 0, sine x by x is 1. That means limit x tends to 0 is already there. Got it? So whatever is the angle of sine, that has to be the denominator. If you can convert this into that form, then this automatically we can write this as 1. Now look at this. The numerator is sine 5x. That means the angle is 5x, so the denominator also has to be 5x. So I divide this by 5x. So if you divide, I need to multiply also. So this is how you manipulate. If you need in the denominator, so you divide the denominator. If you divide the denominator, you need to multiply. So you can easily say that I can use property number 5 for this. Look at this. Sine, read this as x. So sine x divided by x. So this value is 1 because the limit is also there. Divided by, look at the denominator. This is sine 3x. So if the angle is 3x, denominator also has to be 3x. So if I divide, I have to multiply also. So see, x and x gets cancelled. X and x gets cancelled. 5 by 3 is a constant, so comes out 5 by 3 is because this is 5 and this is 3. It's a constant. What is the value of sine 5x? Sine 5x by 5x. The value of this is 1. And what is the value of limit x? Because this limit is for the numerator as well as the denominator. So what is limit x tends to 0, sine 3x by 3x? That is also equal to 1. So the final answer is 5 by 3. See, it is so simple. You just have to manipulate or convert the question into the property that has already been given to you. So please take a screenshot of this. I'm going to explain one more question to you. I'm going to explain one more question to you. Okay. So using property is very simple. You don't have to factorize also. So look at the board. This is question number 12, subdivision 3. Question number 12, subdivision 3. The question is limit x tends to 0, e to the power 5x minus 1 divided by log 1 plus 4x. In fact, if you understand this properly, you can get the answer within 1 or 2 lines. So that's why these type of questions are important for your entrance examination, because these are the type of questions you are going to get in your MCQ. Is that clear? Don't worry, once we complete everything, no, I'll give you question MCQ type of questions so that you get used to what type of questions you need to prepare. So for the time being, let us do everything in detail. So everyone look at the board. The first term which you see is an exponential term. Neither is quadratic nor there is a square root. So I have to use property. So the moment you see e, property number 1 I have to use, and the moment you see log, I have to use property number 2. So just refer it to property number 1 and then do it. Look at the board, everyone. What does property number 1 say? E to the power x, that means this is 5x, but I'm reading this as x. E to the power 5x, sorry, e to the power x minus 1. That means it says, property says, whatever is the power of e, that has to be the denominator. What is the power of e? It is 5x, so I have to divide this by 5x. So if you divide, you need to multiply also 5x. Divide the whole thing, log 1 plus 4x. So that means property number 2 says log 1 plus x. That means whatever is the angle with log, the same thing has to be the denominator. What is it? 4x. So you divide by 4x and you multiply by 4x. So see, x and x gets cancelled. So 5 by 4 comes out. 5 by 4 comes out because it's a constant. Now tell me, I will just do one extra step just to explain it to you. Is that clear? So what I'm getting is just to explain it to you. 5 by 4, limit x tends to 0, e to the power 5x minus 1 divided by 5x divided by limit, The limit is for both. So limit x tends to 0, log 1 plus 4x divided by 4x. And don't you see that the numerator as well as the denominator follows property 1 and property number 2. So what is limit x tends to 0 e to the power x minus 1 divided by x mean? It means 1. And what does log 1 plus x divided by x mean? It also means 1. So the final answer is 5 by 4. What is the final answer, everyone? 5 by 4. Okay. With this, we come to an end. So I will be sending you few questions for you to try out. Let me see whether you will be able to do this or not. Okay. So good night, everyone. So there are in total 7 questions. 7 questions are there. Don't do question number 4. Oh, sorry. Do everything rather.